In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 signs that you are shifting to what some people may call the 5th dimension. Now, the 5th dimension is not some place that you get to in the future. The 5th dimension actually exists right here, right now, in this present moment, because a lot of people think that the 5th dimension is some place that you get to in the future. But that's simply not the case, because the 5th dimension exists now because the present moment is the only moment that exists. And 5D and the 5th dimension is just a label that humans came up with to represent a state of consciousness that already exists right here, right now, in this present moment. So you don't get there one day in the future or at a certain location. It already exists right here, right now. So if you're new to this channel, what I want you to do is to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, because I do post a new video every single day. Also, if you want to work with me one-on-one to let go of your ego, reprogram your subconscious mind for success so you can live the life that you really want to live on this planet at this time, hit the link that's in the description box of this video to apply for a free consultation to see if you're a good fit for the coaching program. So once again, 5 signs that you are shifting to the 5th dimension. The first sign that you are shifting to the 5th dimension is that you have a deep connection to the present moment right here, right now. Because here's the thing with the 5th dimension. Once again, you don't get there in the future. That is an illusion. The future is a concept in the mind. And this is the only moment that exists. So the more that you connect to this moment now, whether that be a negative emotion or a positive emotion, it doesn't matter what experience you're having, whether the mind labels it as good or whether the mind labels it as bad, the deeper connection that you have to the present moment right here, right now, is a powerful sign that you're shifting to the 5th dimension, because that's how it starts. It starts with you shifting your consciousness out of the mind into this moment. You're shifting your attention, because here's the thing. Most people are living their lives at the mind level. Okay, all their attention, all their focus, all their consciousness is stuck up at the mind level, and they're not seeing reality as it is, but they're seeing it through the filters of the ego, through the filters of the mind, through the filters of concepts. And 5D is shifting out of that and connecting to what you experience right here, right now, not through the filters of your mind, but just seeing reality as it is. That is a deep connection to the present moment. That is the first sign you are absolutely shifting to what some people may call 5D. Once again, it's just a label. The label doesn't matter. I could call it another word. The word doesn't matter. The word is just a label. That's all it is. 5D is a word coming out of my mouth. It's 5D. Or I could have called it 5 anything. It doesn't matter. It's a deep connection to this moment right here, right now. Okay, so the second sign that you are shifting to what some people may call the 5D, the 5th dimensional state of consciousness, which is happening right now on the planet, is that you feel one. You feel one with everything. You are starting to see that there actually is no separation between you and anything and any other. Okay, you are connected with every single person, every single thing. And although you know that you are a separate human being having this human experience, you also can actually visually see, and maybe you're having experiences and feelings that you are not actually separate from anything or anyone. You're deeply connected to everything and everyone. You are not separate. Okay, separation is the greatest illusion of all time. You are connected with everything and everyone. And this is not just something that you know intellectually. You may have experiences that you are not actually separate. You may have visual experiences that you are not separate from the person that you're talking to or the object that you're looking at. You can literally feel and hear and see that all the five senses are separate, but they are also one, and boundaries are beginning to collapse in your life. If boundaries are starting to collapse in your life, absolutely you are shifting to what some people may call the fifth dimension, because oneness is part of 5D. 5D is about knowing that you are not separate from the other. You got to realize that everything is connected. And once again, this is not just something that you're going to agree with me at a logical level. You will actually get an experience. You will actually feel that everything is connected. You'll see it. You may be having a conversation with somebody, looking at them in the eyes, maybe even watching this video, another video, and then you just have an experience and it clicks, and you feel and you see that there is no separation, that me and you are actually connected. You're watching this video right now, you are connected to the same source and the same awareness that I am connected to, and it's all interconnected. There is seemingly separate forms in reality, but these forms are ultimately connected to the same source, and it's just one thing. It's just one thing, and this one thing is everything, but it's also nothing at the same time. Now, what does that mean? That means that each human is having their own individual experience, and we're all separate, but at the same time, we are all connected to the same source. And all of those things that are separate are connected as well. You'll see there's no separation between anything or anyone. That is a huge sign that you're shifting to the fifth dimension. Now, the third sign that you're shifting to the fifth dimension is that you are starting to become conscious of the fact that you are not the thoughts, that you are not the body, and you are not the emotions. You are none of those things. So in other words, you are not the ego. You see, most people live their life identified and attached to their thoughts, believing that is who they are. They create a sense of identity and a sense of self around those thoughts. They think that the thoughts that they're not worthy, that they can't accomplish what they want in life, that those thoughts are actually who they are. But these thoughts are not who you are. And if you're beginning to become conscious of the fact that you are not actually your thoughts, you are not this body, but you are the one that is observing those things. You are the emptiness and the formless part of you that is observing those things. There's a deeper part of you that is not those things, but simply the consciousness that can observe those things. That is a huge sign that you're shifting to the fifth dimension, because that's what 5D is about. 5D is about letting go of attachments and labels and judgments and being with what is. So you may feel negative experiences. You may have challenges. You may experience uncomfort in your life. But 5D is about being the awareness of all of that. 5D doesn't necessarily mean that you're at a high vibration state. Eventually, because you're not judging this reality, you will shift to a higher vibration state. But the beginning process of shifting to 5D is simply being aware without judgment. And that comes from a deep consciousness, not just an understanding at the logical level, but an understanding at a consciousness level that you are actually not your body, not your thoughts, not your emotions. You can't just understand this logically. You have to understand at a consciousness level that you are not the thoughts, you are not the body, and you are not the emotions. And you got to realize that sometimes in this process of going deeper into who you really are, that you may experience negative things, but you can still be in the 5D by just being aware. Okay, you might feel negative emotions. You might feel negative vibrations in your body that maybe you pick up from other people. Maybe some of your past traumas come up, but none of these things are who you are. They're just forms coming up. And the more that you realize that you are the conscious observer of form, and also to take it a step further, you realize that you are conscious of consciousness itself. So you are conscious that you are consciousness. You are conscious that you are not those things, but you are the consciousness. So that's consciousness going inward on itself, self with a capital S, not the lower self, the higher self. And you got to realize that if you're actually realizing that you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the emotions, but you are consciousness. And you can't even say that you are consciousness, but you are, but at the same time, you're not. And you can't claim ownership. You are just experiencing this state that is here right now. At the same time, you cannot attach to the experience because this experience is temporary. Your thoughts are temporary, your emotions are temporary, and everything's temporary. But the more that you become conscious that you are an infinite being of consciousness observing temporary form that can experience an infinite amount of things, and right now it happens to be this human body, that means that you're shifting to the fifth dimension. You're becoming conscious of who you really are and your true nature, which is love, light, consciousness, and awareness. The fourth sign that you're shifting to the fifth dimension is that you're extremely emotionally sensitive and socially sensitive. So not only are you conscious of your own emotions and the emotions that you feel, you're extremely sensitive to your emotions, but at the same time, you're also very sensitive to other people's emotions. So you know right away, because you have so much awareness, because you have so much consciousness, you're very conscious of your emotions. You know that if you're feeling fear, you can be aware of that fear. You know that if you're feeling sadness coming up, you can feel sadness. Some people aren't conscious of their emotions. May sound simple, but some people feel anger, but they're not conscious that they're feeling anger. They're stuck up at the mind level, and that feeling of anger is being repressed. It's not fully being experienced. So as you start to connect deeper and have more awareness of your emotions, develop what some people may call emotional intelligence, guess what happens? You also become very conscious of other people's emotions as well. You become very conscious of other people's emotions as well. So you start to realize if somebody's in a bad mood just by looking at them for a moment. You could look at somebody in the eyes for 1 second, or even just see the way that they walk. You could feel their voice tonality. You can feel it in your being, and you'll know right away what state someone is in emotionally. That's because you're developing awareness, you're developing consciousness, and this is going to develop in your social skills as well. And that's the gift that we have as an empath, as light workers, as people that are shifting to the 5D, all just limiting human labels. Just want to throw that out there and make you realize that 5D, light worker, empath, all limiting labels to represent a deep connection and a high state of consciousness. Even the word consciousness is just a word. The actual experience and the deeper meaning behind what I'm sharing with you is what you're resonating with. The words that I'm saying right now to you mean almost nothing. It's the energy behind the words that you're resonating with, the 5D, which your heart resonates with, not your mind. So you got to realize that as you develop deeper to this, as you develop this deep connection to the present moment, you're going to start to realize that you are extremely aware of where people are at emotionally. And that's the gift that you have as an empath, if you want to use that label. You have a gift where you can feel into people's emotions. You can see what emotion they're at. You can hear what emotion they're at all levels, all the 5 senses. You have a deep connection. You are very connected to the truth. Truth meaning what is beyond thinking, what is beyond the concepts. And that allows you to be more socially aware as well. I used to go through a journey where I was very socially anxious. I wasn't good at reading social cues or talking to people in a powerful way, having powerful communication skills. And it's because I was just living too much at the mind level. That's all it was. Because you can develop social skills, you can practice, but if you level up your consciousness, automatically your social skills will get to another level. You're going to be able to read people just like that, not in a manipulative way, but in a way where you know where people are at so you can help them, because that's your gift as an empath. Your gift as an empath is to have a deep connection to the present moment and help people get out of the rut that they're in. That is why you're on this planet. You're on this planet to help people and help them get out of a lower state of consciousness. That's what 5D is about. And you don't have to do this by doing anything in particular, but by simply being in the 5D, you automatically bring people up to your level. That's what the 5D is about. This is about having compassion, but at the same time knowing when it's time to let people come up to your level by being in the 5D. So you're going to know when people are at a lower state. You're going to feel that, but it's not going to necessarily affect you as much. You may feel it, maybe you won't. But at the same time, understand that you're going to be extremely sensitive to people's emotions. You will just know if somebody's in a vibration of fear. You're just going to know if somebody's in a vibration of guilt. You can see people going through these emotions. You're going to know exactly what's happening, and it's your job to be at that high consciousness state and help people move through that by being in the 5D, not by saying the right thing or using the right words or by having the good collection of logical information. 5D is a state of consciousness, not a collection of words and intellect. Okay, so the fifth sign that you're shifting to the 5D is that you realize there is no coincidence, that everything happens in divine timing. You got to realize everything happens as a cause and effect. Nothing happens by accident. Everything happens for a reason. Every single word that I'm speaking to you, every action, every little micro movement that I'm making with my hands is infinitely interconnected with every single piece of the universe. Every single piece of the universe is connected and happening synchronistically with me right here, right now in this video. The fact that you're watching this video at this time, the fact that you resonated with this video, the fact that you're listening to me speak right now in this present moment, connecting with me, that's no coincidence. If you realize that there is no coincidence and everything happens in divine timing, not only do you see this at a small level, but you're beginning to see that your life is becoming one big synchronicity. You're not just seeing numbers anymore and license plates and all these things. That's what I see personally. I see license plates. But also you're realizing that the universe is continually communicating to you and giving you powerful messages, and none of it is a coincidence. You might have all these interconnected experiences where something happens in the past and then you connect that with something that you're reading in a book, and then you have all these experiences that interconnect in some very powerful way where you're shocked, but then it becomes normal to you and you realize that everything is connected. If you're shifting to the fifth dimension and it's becoming normal for you to experience lots of synchronicity, that's a huge sign that your level of consciousness is getting to a higher level. And of course, that means you are shifting to the fifth dimension. There is no coincidence. And the more that you pay attention to the signs that the universe is giving us in each moment, you'll start to see that everything happens in divine timing. You'll hear people talk about things that you were thinking about. You'll start to read quotes and books that connected with the experiences you've been having for the last 2 weeks. You'll see that the universe has a plan for everything. That doesn't mean you don't have free will, but you'll see that everything kind of happens in a way where it cannot be a coincidence. There's no question. There's no question. Like, there's no doubt. You have a deep knowing that everything is happening in divine timing. Even the things that you may not think are happening in divine timing. If you're at the point where you've been through experiences, through so many synchronicity, and you know that even though when this negative situation is happening to you, and part of you doesn't believe that it's happening for a reason, and even through that, you can still know deep in your heart that it is happening for a reason, even though it may not seem like it in that moment, and you have a deep knowing that there is no coincidence, and it all happens for your growth, for you to grow, not to you, but for you, that means you're shifting to the fifth dimension. Now, if any of these signs resonated with you, what I want you to do is hit that like button and share this video with a friend to let them know that they are also shifting to the fifth dimension, okay? Now, I want you to comment down below, 5D is here now, okay? 5D is here now, not in the future, right here, right now. Comment down below, 5D is here now. So that's all I have for this video. Once again, if you want to work with me one-on-one to let go of your ego, reprogram your subconscious mind for success so you can align with your life purpose and what it is that you're really meant to be doing on this planet at this time, hit the link that's in the description box of this video to apply for a free consultation to see if you're a good fit for the coaching program. Have yourself a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.